Man, Hawks win again. Let's go. How does it feel to be an Ottawa fan from going to score back-to-back 7-goal games and getting scored 7 on by the Blackhawks of all teams, especially after last season? Send fans aren't really going to care about that game. They've been tuning into the World Series. Toronto just won Game 4, and they're looking pretty good. But all those Canadian fans, they're gonna tune back in and see that Ottawa's not doing all too good, not doing all too good so far this season. Fair enough, man. I do want the Blue Jays to win the World Series. All I'm saying, the Blue Jays number one. But they're also gonna tune back in and see Blackhawks in a playoff spot. Let's go Hawks, baby!
Blackhawks haven't been a good state for a while. And to that I say, yeah, a lot of their games this season were a hard match. Pieces are there. Blackhawks fans, stay still, be patient, and everything will work out in the end.
Welcome to Blackhawks Central. Everyone up! Everyone up! Hawks win 7-3 over the Ottawa Senators. And I keep saying it, no better feeling. 5-3-2. Bedard hat trick. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Nothing else more. Bedard first career hat trick. Gets 3 straight for the Blackhawks there. Yeah. We'll get into the game here. Solid game. Before I get into the game, though, I would like to do a little Hawks retrospective. Take a look back. Only a year ago, I'll say, October 28th, 2024. A short skipping away from today. And we'll take a look at their starting lineup. Right here. Take a look. You'll see that our starting lineup a year ago was Philip Kurashev, Connor Bedard, Teuvo Teravainen, Taylor Hall, Nick Foligno, Tyler Bertuzzi, Ilya Mikheyev, Jason Dickinson, Ryan Donato, Patrick Moon, Lucas Reichel, Craig Smith. That is completely different from today's game. And then defensive pairing Kaiser Jones, Vlasic Murphy, Alan Brody, with Peter Mrazek starting in net, Drew Camesso. I'll go through highlight all the players that are currently on the team. Connor Bedard, Teuvo Teravainen, Nick Foligno, Tyler Bertuzzi, Ilya Mikheyev, Jason Dickinson, Ryan Donato. That line's still all there. And then the fourth line, Kaiser, Vlasic, Murphy. No one else. That is 3, 6, 10 players of our starting 20 that are in the lineup as are scratched for illness. But now if I take you to today's game and we go through, I know the lineup off the top of my head was Green, Bedsy, Burkowski, Nazar, Teravainen, Bertuzzi, and then and then the others, and then defensively Murphy, Rinzel. So the team is completely different. The culture has completely shifted. Our goalies have shifted. So this team is new, and I did say we regressed last video. I said we did regress, but whatever happened in between that game and today, something switched, and I hope we stay this switched on every game going forward, because we were so on it in the UC today. The UC got rocking, and it was early on. Colton Dock, off of a rebound from a Crevier shot, gets the Hawks going, up 1-0, hit the Chelsea dagger. That's, what else can you say? And then not too long later, Crevier, after getting an assist on the dot goal, snipes one himself and makes it 2-0 Hawks. Now, Crevier, I would say this for the first bit of the game. Crevier, nice. He's having a legacy game to begin. Had a really good defensive game today. Was very. You can easily tell he's one of the more offensive-minded defensemen on the back end. Crevier, insane game today. Love that from him. And my early on thoughts of this game was, holy crap. this Hawks team has depth. They don't need to rely on their superstars of Bedard and Nazar. They got so many people, no, so many players down the order that it's insane. I have criticized Kyle Davidson for his free agent signings last season. We signed on Teravainen, Bertuzzi, uh, Ryan Donato had been with the team for a little bit. Dickinson had been with the team for a little bit. Foligno had been with the team for a little bit. Mikheyev was new to the system. Uh, yeah, and then this year we bring on Burkowski and Lafferty, and all of a sudden, like it feels like we're uh, oversaturating this roster with older players. However, they those players are turning into excellent depth pieces. Donato's contributing at a consistent pace. He might even break 30 goals again this year. Dickinson is playing well defensively. Felino's captain. You know what you get with him. Bertuzzi's starting to look like how he was before. Teravainen's like he's not. He's a hall of good player right there, and these guys are fitting into the system. They are fitting into the system and the depth. The Blackhawks depth chart is looking pretty solid, and these guys could be locked up for the long term. So we'll see what we can do with them. The third goal of the game, Connor Bedard. I said this about the depth. I said the Blackhawks haven't had to rely on their stars, Frank Nazar, Connor Bedard. And holy shit, Bedard made me eat on my words almost immediately afterwards as he scores on the power play with a genuinely just what a cross ice pass from Burakovsky. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Burakovsky. You're so back. 2 assists on the night. I can't believe I slandered Burakovsky to start the year. He's back and he's playing pretty well with Bedard. I mean, he's been the only staple fixture on that line, and he's been solidly contributing. And he finally got a chance on the power play one today, and he got one goal for the Blackhawks on the board during the power play. So we'll take that. Burakovsky, solid game today. That cross ice pass to Bedard for his first goal. Oof, oof. And then the Blackhawks start to lose a little bit. They lose their edge a little. We're up 3-0. Oh, sorry. Well, we didn't lose edge yet. Going into the second, first few minutes of the second, Connor Bedard gets his second of the game. I don't even know what to say about this one. 5-on-1's the entire Ottawa roster, end to end. Gets the puck from Grzelcyk and Levshinov in his end, skates it up, makes a great move around the first two defenders, sends defensemen still backing up. Bedard goes for the shot. Unreal release. I don't know how he got that much power on that kind of shot with the angle his stick was at. He was like, and all of a sudden it's in the net through Zub's legs, right past Olmark, and Bedard has a second of the game, and I don't know how that went in. Bedard genuinely shocks me with how he plays hockey. Oof, 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 oof. I love Bedard so much. But then it comes a little shaky. Blackhawks defense is hemmed in, and and it just Ottawa hammers home three, bang, 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 basically all within 5 minutes, and all of a sudden we have a hockey game. It's now 4-3, and then the Hawks weather the storm. We get to the third, which is the most important. We take a lead going into the second intermission, and now the momentum's kind of staved off from the Senators. If they'd scored more, the Senators probably would have gone on to win this game. But the Hawks held them off and their maintained their lead going to second intermission, which is a good thing to have happened there. And going into this second intermission, coming out of it, going into the third period, Connor Bedard, with a snipe off of a face-off from a clean win from Ryan Green, gets his first career hat trick. Suck it, haters. Bedard, absolutely stud. What else is there to say? He gets his hat trick, first career one in his junior year in the NHL. So a lot of people have been comparing him with Macklin Celebrini. Celebrini got his hat trick in 5 points a couple nights ago. Bedard got his hat trick tonight. Is there some Team Canada possibilities for Bedard? Still to be seen. He definitely needs to have more consistent play. But I would say solidly, this is the first game that Bedard has taken over and he's dominated. This is like his first completely dominant game where you can say Bedard minute to minute was the most dominant player on the ice. And he had to go up against Ottawa's best. He had to go up against all their great defensemen, and he still knocked down three on their asses. Could have been four. Could have been four. As a few minutes later, Ryan Donato buries one on a rebound off of a Bedard shot. That legitimately, if he gets that shot off, it goes in. So Bedard 4 points on the night, and he's now on 12 points on the year, 6 goals. And yeah, Donato gets another goal. As I've already mentioned, he's already on a good scoring pace as far as depth pieces go. And then to end it off solidly, Nazar gets the empty netter with 7 minutes remaining. I don't get why Ottawa's pulling it so quickly. I know you got the power play, but and then the stupid Ottawa defender chops at his legs. Would have been a guaranteed goal anyways, but it's just a statement to bury that thing, bury the piece of coal in the basket, And so Hawks come away with a 7-3 win over the Ottawa Senators. We move on to road trips to Winnipeg and Edmonton, and I will be there at Rogers Place. We will be there, and I will record live on location. To be seen. But Hawks win 7-3. Best game of the year. I guess best game of the year by far, I believe. I like that St. Louis game. We hemmed them in and we scored a lot of goals. I would say, arguably, that might have been a better game. But just because of the allure of Bedsy's first career hat trick, I'm going to give it to this game. And we also scored 7. I don't think there's been we didn't score more than 7 twice last season. I don't think we barely even scored 6 twice last season. So being able to score this amount of goals in very closely consecutive games is just alleviating as a Hawks fan. 5 wins on the year in the second wild card. If we can continue that winning streak, beat Winnipeg on Thursday here, and then move it into Edmonton, get a win against Edmonton. Massive wins, both of those, if we can get them. But it'll all come down to how this team plays. McCabe was out today. I don't think Ottawa's power play was super effective anyways. I'll just confirm that. Yeah, no, they didn't score a power play goal, so clearly the Blackhawks were doing something right here with how they played on the PK. The PK is getting so much better, especially since this was Ottawa is number 1 in the league on the penalty on the power play. So the Blackhawks obviously did something on the penalty kill to alleviate Ottawa's dominance in that regard. So I'm glad that happened. The power play finally scored one, which thank God, but I still have no hope for the. I still hope they blow it up or figure something out because it's still abysmal if they don't win the first draw and move it around. I would say moving Burakovsky up to the top, the first one for Teravainen, so far has worked out. We'll see how well it works out in the long term, and if he is a permanent fixture on that top power play unit to help alleviate that. So I believe that could be our option to do that. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. I'm glad I got the recap there. Last year, as I already had mentioned, the Blackhawks started at a 2-6-1 through 9 games. Through 10 games this year, we are now 5-3-2. Absolutely flipping the script from what was an abysmal start last season. And if I know anything from that game, we beat the Avalanche, so that would move us to 3-6-1, 7 points through 10 games. So far, we're at 12, almost double the amount of points we had last year. And we're on the up still. And I'm glad we're bouncing back. So we'll end it there. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you really liked it. And peace out, Blackhawkers.